Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles the Man. So I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment. We'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things, and we see them. And today we got a hell of a show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to hit all notifications to be notified the second we publish our content, so you don't miss out on anything. Let me get into this topic here. So yesterday we produced a show that was reacting to some comments that LeBron James made on the new podcast that he has with JJ Redick called Mind the Game. And during that 43-minute sit down, they talked about a bunch of different things. And then they got to the part of discussing, players that have had an impact on the game of basketball. And as they were talking about it, LeBron started to list off some of the players that he believes, since he said, to quote him, since he's been watching and covering basketball. Those were his exact words, since he has been watching and covering basketball, not that since Michael Jordan played. He then went on to say, Stephen Curry and Allen Iverson. And most of us were like, Bron, the answer was Jordan. We all knew this. Why didn't you say it? But what's happened is some people have been messaging me and saying, no, he didn't say that. He said, even Gilbert Arenas, I sent him the message saying, hey, listen, your guy is a hater. He then said, oh, no. He said since MJ. And I said, no, he didn't. And I recorded the audio and sent it to him. He did not say since. So for those of you who may still be confused about what LeBron said, want to play exactly what he said yesterday to just kind of put this point to rest, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what LeBron actually said yesterday again.
Because I believe in 08, 09, or whenever that little light skin came in the league, that's in Golden State, he changed that whole narrative. He did. He single-handedly changed the no lead is safe. It's like Pat Mahomes right now.
It's interesting you bring up Steph because I think there's
Love that guy,
a long history of
Steph.
Great players that have impacted the game. And you can see a lineage between different skill sets, right? Michael to Kobe, right? You can see that.
Yep.
I don't know that there's been a player that has influenced the game more than Steph. And you can certainly point to like Harden for sure in that era, Damian Lillard for sure, but you're right. It started with Steph.
When it comes to influence, since I've been watching the game, the most influence on the game, and obviously we know what Mike did for the game.
Sure.
Well, Steph and Allen Iverson are the two biggest influential guys in our game since I've been watching and covering it. One, they're 6'3", 6'4", if you want to.
Steph's not 6'4".
If you want to look on the back of a basketball card, you're always a lot taller on the back of the basketball card. Allen Iverson and Steph, they were just so relatable, and kids felt like they could be them. They were guys that was not always counted on. They were small in stature, and they just defined the odds. So you got AI, who's like unbelievable crossover, cornrows, arm sleeve. We wear arm sleeve. Everyone wears an arm sleeve now because of Allen Iverson. And he's going in the trenches, laying it up over bigs, whatever the case may be. And now you have Steph, who's shooting over the Empire State Building. It's like those two are the two most influential when you say the game, how they changed the game, and the kids, and like, those are two guys that you just wanted to watch every single night.
So you heard what LeBron James actually said. You heard it for yourself. I don't want to argue anymore or hear people say, oh, you misinterpreted. He spoke plain English. We all heard it. So if you want to interpret something else or hear something else, that's up to you. But don't come up here and start saying, no, he didn't say, he said exactly what we just said. So as I was kind of going off about that all over the internet yesterday, I opened up my Instagram. And when I opened up my Instagram, I saw a clip from ESPN where they were reacting to the comments that LeBron James made. And it was a panel, I believe, of Austin Rivers, Malika Andrews, Brian Windhorst, and Kendrick Perkins. And when it came time for Kendrick Perkins to weigh in on what LeBron had to say, Kendrick Perkins basically called him a flat out liar. He was like, LeBron James is lying and he needs to stop. For those of you who didn't hear what Kendrick Perkins had to say, I want to play for you now, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what Kendrick Perkins had to say there.
Kendrick, Steph and Allen Iverson, the most influential players ever?
Well, number one, congratulations to Bron and JJ Redick on, I think a much-needed podcast. But let me say this. Bron is lying, okay? And he needs to stop. No disrespect to Allen Iverson or Steph Curry, but when it comes to Jordan and the impact, the influence that he had on everybody, is no other, right? When it comes to listening to songs, like I want to be like Mike, like what are we talking about? We're talking about a guy that was in the music video with Michael Jackson. We're talking about a guy that has so much influence that you have grown men, retired former players, grown men that still post when they get shoes from Michael Jordan on the internet. You talk about like impact. Michael Jordan is the reason, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's the first to do it, but you talk about guys with their signature shoe, guys like Kyrie, guys like LeBron. Mike made that what it is today. Michael Jordan is one of one when it comes to impact and influence over everybody. And think about the impact he had on the late, great Kobe Bryant. I'm not knocking Steph. I'm not knocking AI. But Jordan and this everybody else, man. Let's stop.
Are they talking about all time or just like right now? Or the last?
All time.
All time.
Well, okay, yeah. if we're talking all time, Michael Jordan has to be the guy, right? But if we're talking as of recently, he is correct. It is AI in Steph, and we're talking about recent years, the past 20-something whatever years. due to the fact that we're talking about what's going on right now. Iverson changed the game.
2005?
Huh?
You're saying since 2005?
So you heard what Kendrick Perkins had to say. That's a LeBron guy. That's a LeBron James guy. He said you're lying. And he's 100% correct. I was listening this morning to Sports and Fitness Rants, and he was reacting to the show. He shouted us out as well as Too Raw for Sports. And he brought up some very, very sound points in terms of measuring Michael Jordan's iconic status and the influence that he has had over the game of basketball. Listen, whenever you're discussing this sport, basketball, if you want to talk about the most influential, if you don't mention Michael Jordan, you don't need to be even having an opinion on it. You don't. It's like if you didn't mention Jordan, you missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Like you missed the point. You don't even need to be a part of this discussion. Too Raw for Sports brought this up yesterday. When MJ was playing, he was arguably the most popular person in the world. Him, Michael Jackson, and maybe somebody else I'm not remembering. Jordan's reach is a global reach. A global reach. You can go anywhere around the world and you ask them about Michael Jordan and they'll tell you they know who Michael Jordan is. This was without the advent of social media. So the only way you could hear about Jordan was either on TV, either on the radio, or find out about him on the TV, radio, or maybe newspapers. That's it. And yet and still, he was able to penetrate every single corner of the globe in terms of his popularity. Another point that Sports and Fitness Rants brought up, which was iconic moments. The players that LeBron listed, how many iconic moments had they had stacking him up to Jordan? He brought up AI. He brought up a fantastic point, which was his iconic moment in the NBA Finals, stepping over Ty Lue in that game one when he dropped 48 points against the Los Angeles Lakers with Shaq and Kobe and these guys, Rick Fox and them. He then brought up the other moment, Allen Iverson's crossover, and he was like, but why was it iconic? It was because of the person who he crossed over, which was Michael Jordan. He then said, what are Stephen Curry's iconic moments? I sat back and I thought, and I can't remember any of them really. I can't. But if you think of Jordan, it's a never-ending list. The dunk contest, the shot he hit over Brian Russell at the end of the game, in Game 6, against the Utah Jazz in the NBA Finals, the shot over the Cleveland Cavaliers, him switching hands in the finals against Magic Johnson. I mean, it goes on. Maybe his dunk on Patrick. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And the basketball historian in LeBron is fully aware of this. We're just talking about moments. Just moments. Jordan brought branding into basketball. Without Jordan, there's no branding. He's the one that elevated basketball in terms from a business standpoint. He's the one. We're not going to talk about the impact he had culturally on kids all over the world. Are you kidding me? Jordan shoes are the most popular shoes, and it's not even fun. It's not even close. So for you to say, "Oh, it's Stephen," you're just hating. It's not about, "Oh, it's his opinion." No, that's not a fair opinion. You can't come up here and say, "Oh, who's the greatest player of all time?" and you stand up and say Stephen Curry. No, you say, "Well, it's my opinion." No, you need to sit down. There's your opinions, and then there's the facts. Your opinion cannot become a fact, no matter who it is. If 2 + 2 is 4, I don't care if you're telling me your opinion is 3. The facts are the facts. So to mention any other player besides Jordan, you look like a flat out hater or you're lying. And that's exactly why Kendrick Perkins, who was a LeBron James guy, came out there and said that. That's all you need to know. This is a LeBron guy saying it. It's like, no, you capping. And we all knew it. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments. We catch you on the next show. Peace.